Hello, this is Jamie White, and I am here to bring you another week for the Supplier Diversity and Small Business Economic Report. As always, I would like to thank everybody for joining me another week. And if you enjoy the series, please like, subscribe, share, and comment on the video. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Today, I'm going to be talking pretty extensively about small businesses and kind of what's going on with the economy for America. It seems as if we're really showing signs of the beginnings of a slowdown, if you will. So we're going to discuss that, as well as some international news such as the Brexit. Um, I don't even know what to call it, and the information on the China-U.S. trade war, which is exceptionally well for the U.S. So let's get started. Small Business Outlook survey shows high optimism. So the end of last year, QuickBridge did a survey of privately held companies, and it appears as if small businesses are still optimistic about what's going on for 2019. Now, once again, this was at the end of 2018. They held this to see how people felt, and apparently, 83% of business owners expect their business sales to increase over the next year, aka 2019. So there's some other pieces here. Uh, oh, excuse me. New tax law receiving mixed receptions. So we're discussing taxes, excuse me, as well as online lenders, et cetera, et cetera. But the big piece here is over 4 out of 5 businesses expect their sales to increase for 2019. So pretty interesting when you talk about the optimism of small businesses leading into the year. So that's a good thing, right? That means that if people expect their sales to increase, that means they're going to be looking to hire more employees, spend more dollars, et cetera, making the economy great again. Uh, with that being said, despite small business owners being optimistic heading into this year, this was obviously before. Let me actually get the date for when this survey was handled. It just says the Q4 survey. Okay, that's fine. But obviously, this all happened before the government shutdown. So what does that mean now? Um, as you can see, I've not sure if I talked about this last week, but written a couple articles about this. Why the Small Business Administration um, can't help, as you can see here. But the main piece here is small business loans are taking a hit right now. So as you can see here, usually the SBA manages about 200 loans for working capital and 120 loans for commercial properties per day, amounting to roughly 200 million worth of loans every day for small and mid-sized businesses. Currently, only funds for disaster relief loans remain. So because of the government shutdown, small businesses do not have access to loans. And we discussed this, last week as well in terms of small businesses unable to, you know, if they have a contract for a department that's shut down, they're not going to receive payment. So dealing with those issues and completing a contract while knowing that you're not going to get paid by the government is tough. Now we can also expand that and see that loans are also being negatively affected as well. So about 200 million in loans uh, that we can see that aren't going to small and mid-sized businesses, which is again hurting that working capital, which is includes things such as paying your employees. So you know not only the 800,000 people are getting hit as well, but these small businesses again 200 million is crazy. Um, Now that all goes. Oh, I got the yawn. Sorry, excuse me. That all points to the economy is slowing down, which it's a combination of a couple of things. The economy itself is so far as of right now doing okay, well, pretty well. The issue is that the government, and I'm pretty sure you've seen how I think 2 weeks of closure is a 0.1% reduction in GDP. Um, but as you can see, that's lending to the economy slowing down. So there's something here that I want to talk about. So basically, essentially, what this article discusses, which I thought was pretty interesting, is that it talks about how when the economy hits its highest mark, people think that that's the beginning, but oftentimes that's actually the end, and then it essentially slows down. So as you can see, therefore, when a record level is reached, it is not the beginning, but rather an indication of maturity of a cycle, and then it's going to have a downturn. And same when it hits the bottom, when we see record lows, as you can see, investors get more bullish because they know that it's going to come back up. So There's some pretty interesting charts here, but as it just essentially shows that we're probably heading towards the slowing down of the economy's growth. And there's a couple of charts here that if you want to, you can definitely take a look at. They're pretty interesting, but they all pretty much align with what he's saying up here, which is we are now seeing a slowdown, and with the government shutdown, that's only going to make these points stronger when it comes to the slowdown. So again, uh, as a small business owner, these are things that we definitely have to take a look at. Uh, you know, right now because of the government shutdown, if you need immediate capital, right now your best option is online lending, which is a little bit tricky. Well, I support online lending for sure, especially for smaller businesses. Honestly, diverse businesses, simply because when you're dealing with the government and whatnot, maybe harder to qualify for those loans. But even with that being said, if you need that immediate capital, probably online lending would be your best bet for right now, just because there's no clue. We don't know how long this is going to go. And as of right now, Nancy Pelosi and President Trump are battling over if he should be allowed to do the State of the Union. And just so you know, the State of the Union is what, January 28th. So that means that they're expecting this to go on for another 10 days. So just if you're a small business, just prepare for this to go on for the rest of the month, and make your plans accordingly. Now, next up, polls show government shutdown is eroding faith in the economy. Now, again, I talked to you about this, but this was although this discusses the 2019 U.S. economy, this was taken in quarter four. This is a new poll from the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index, uh, just asking people how they feel about the economy now, and understandably, it has decreased. Um, I mean, it's pretty much it hits the points that you would probably consider, and the big piece here is I think the big piece when we're talking about regular people, small business owners, everyone having losing that faith in the economy is simply because the big piece here is that there doesn't seem to be a plan to how to get out of this, right? I don't get into politics, as you guys know, but at the same time, Republicans have taken a hard stance, Democrats have taken a hard stance, and there doesn't seem to be any room for negotiations. So because of that, we as the average Americans, we just don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty in terms of what happens next, and as you know, uncertainty is the biggest indicator for a drop in the economy, in my opinion. So with as much uncertainty that's going on right now, that leads to a drop in the economy. So the polls are now showing this. This is only going to continue. Honestly, it's probably only going to get worse. Regardless of who's to blame or who you feel is to blame, we're hurting, and that's not good. Next up, so we're going to go global here. There's 2 points I want to talk about: Brexit and the China-U.S. trade, which is some positive news. So we're gonna end on some positive news here. So that's good. But Brexit. If you're not familiar with what's going on with Brexit, as you sure, United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union a couple of years ago. I think it was 2016. Don't quote me on that. So now for the past 2 years, they've been creating a plan on how to leave the European Union in the most seamless way. Theresa May this week submitted a proposal on how to do that, and it went completely terribly. She lost the vote 2-1. I think over 400 people voted against it. 200 people voted in support of it. Or when I say people, I mean in the UK Congress. So basically, what that means is that they have to come up with a new plan. And let me look at this. It's the first thing that you see. The UK is set to leave the EU March 29th. Now, as you can see, extending the Brexit deadline could cause major issues with EU elections coming. So there's talk that the United Kingdom might request an extension, but as you can see right here, that's going to cause some issues. So right now, things are not looking up for for Brexit and the United Kingdom and their their relationship with the EU. Um, it's something it's something to take note of. Obviously, for the United Kingdom, this is really, really bad for them. But for us over in America, this is something to take a look at because, again, uncertainty will always hurt the global economy when we're talking about issues in regards to like nations. So this is something that is going to have a negative effect until something gets done. And right now, similar to the government shutdown, there doesn't seem to be any answers. So just more uncertainty right now. January 29, 2019 seems to be the month of uncertainty. So that's it's things that we have to deal with. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm an expert on Brexit, but uh, there's just a lot of factions and a lot of different groups arguing over exactly how to leave the EU, and that is another, I guess, relationship or not relationship, but another argument where people are taking hard stances with little room to make a compromise. So I don't really know what to tell you as a small business owner in terms of the next steps. Just as of right now for January, just plan for that slowing. Um, probably take a look at more online lending and kind of go from there. Now, with that being said, last part, which is really good news. Today, it was announced that China offers 6-year import boost in trade talks with the U.S. So what that means is that China, let's go down here. Here it is. China would increase its annual import of U.S. goods by a combined value of over 1 trillion over the next 6 years. The plan is China pegged its proposal to buy more U.S. goods through 2024. Where is it? Here it is. This deal would aim to reduce the annual trade difference between the U.S. and China by 2024. So that's the big key here. Um, this is really good. Uh, as you know, the U.S. has taken an exceptionally hard stance when it comes to China, instituting those tariffs, which has really hurt the Chinese economy. I mean, again, I'm on our website, supplier2news.com. I'm constantly writing articles about how they're trying to look for different ways to help their the Chinese small businesses as well as their larger companies when it comes to capital, making sure that they have enough capital to keep their businesses running and obviously, increase their GDP. So they're definitely struggling due to these tariffs. And this again, I don't care which if you like Trump administration or not, for this particular issue, they've done a really good job. And if they can finally get a deal done on this, then this may be one of, if not his biggest win when it comes to a trade deal. So this is looking up. Again, the issue here is that when it goes to Congress, it's a split Congress. So can this get through that? I don't know. As you guys know, I've been talking about how that NAFTA 2.0 is probably not going to get through Congress. This is probably going to have an issue as well. But as of right now, we have to look to see what China is getting from the U.S. But I mean, this has really hit the markets pretty in a positive light, and this is it seems as if we're on the right track here. As the dead as not the deadline, but as January 30th comes up, where China is supposed to be visiting America. So pretty good things going on here. So definitely wanted to leave you guys on a positive note in terms of what's going on with the global economy. But that's positive. They're going to be purchasing a lot of things from the U.S., which will ensure that our economy, at least from the larger companies, most likely, that our GDP is still running smoothly. So this is a pretty good deal. Now, with that being said, I'm sorry to kind of end on a odd note, but as always, thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, comment on the video if you like. Uh, you know, stay strong in this last month, or not last, but in the month of January. Uh, and hopefully these both sides of every aisle can come together, and we can get this government open. With that being said, thank you and have a great week.